That intro is something else. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I hope you can live up to it.
You called me the host.
Oh, yeah.
It's the plugged back in with Justin Fischer. So
Well, it's great to see you two gentlemen on this rainy Friday here on the East Coast. Yeah, we got some big news to cover today. If you're looking to buy a Tesla, you're going to spend a whole lot less than you would have yesterday.
What happened? What happened? I haven't been up on the news. What happened?
So, Ray, if you're not familiar, Tesla does this thing where overnight they will quietly just change the prices on their vehicles. That makes a lot of people happy if they've been in the market to buy and have been hesitant, but it pisses a lot of people off if they bought yesterday. However, you got to keep in mind that the trade-off is you don't have to deal with dealer markups with Tesla. It is direct to consumer. And that's also the reason why you can't buy a Tesla in certain states, including my own here in West Virginia. But yeah, overnight, Tesla dropped prices across the board by varying amounts. So if you go to CarEdge.com and pull up our latest guide, you'll see that, Justice, maybe if you want to pull that up, I'll talk through it.
Yep.
The Model Y is now $1,000 cheaper. The Model S is now $1,000 cheaper. Still no sign of the Model 3. I'm sorry, the Model 3 is now $1,000 cheaper. Still no sign of the Model 3 long-range all-wheel drive. That's a shame because that is like the best, sweetest deal. And in my opinion, the best electric car on the market is the long-range Model 3 all-wheel drive, but it's not available right now. Model X and Model S prices dropped as well, both by $5,000. So that's a big old price cut. And on our article here at CarEdge.com, down towards the bottom, Justice is on it.
I'm working on it.
It's okay. He's on it. We've actually got the prices laid out for you, also showing what the effective price is when you subtract the EV tax credit, because Tesla is now being very straightforward about how much they expect each of their models to qualify for. I'll go ahead and share my screen if that's okay.
Well, you want to do
Can I ask you a
for some
quick
reason not getting
question?
it.
For a guy like me who drives a Mini, so obviously I don't like a real big car. Which of these models, if I were suddenly had this strong desire to get a Tesla EV, which model would I probably want?
I think you've got to go with the Model Y long range, Ray. It's larger than the Mini, but Justice, what do you think?
I'm going to say, because I happen to know what Ray's affordability price point is.
Okay, I
The
don't.
Model 3 standard range, and Ray doesn't drive very much. Keep that in mind. He puts on very few miles. So at $41,990, Ray's cutoff point of affordability is $40,000. So this is pretty damn close to affordable for Ray.
And the Model 3 standard range of $42,000 plus a destination fee, that's like $43,500, something like that. That is a really good deal considering what you get. Now, Ray, I know I'm going to take you off by trying to call $43,000 affordable, but you're getting basically the best electric sedan on the market for 43 grand. I mean, it's better than a lot of $60,000 EVs out there, in my opinion. Yeah, Ray, you want to go scoop up a Model 3 today?
Maybe. So let me ask you a silly question. Why does a Model 3 only qualify for $3,750?
The standard range, aka rear wheel drive Model 3, they changed the name a while back to make it sound more appealing.
Yeah.
So it's actually now rear wheel drive Model 3. It has batteries that are made by CATL, which is a Chinese battery manufacturer.
Yes.
And they are LFP batteries, meaning lithium iron phosphate chemistry. And that's going to give you some benefits, such as the ability to charge to 100% without risking degradation of the battery. That is pretty awesome. So when you see that it's EPA rated for 272 miles, with that LFP battery chemistry, that means you're going to be allowed to charge to 100% without worrying about harming the battery. Whereas in my Ioniq 5, sure, I've got 256 miles of EPA rated range, but I'm advised by the manufacturer to charge to 80% unless I need the full 100% for a road trip. So,
and on the LFP, not just allowed, but they recommend it at least once a week.
interesting. I didn't know that they recommend it. Wonder
Recommend
why that is. Must be a chemistry thing.
Yeah.
But so it's getting only half of the tax credit because of the Chinese sourced battery pack. Maybe that'll change in the future. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
what is
Tesla's saying it'll change.
what is a Model 3 preferred? What's the difference?
Performance. I didn't
performance. Excuse me.
I didn't want to. Well, Justice, can you tell us a little bit about the performance? Because you know specs better than I do.
It's also called dual motor. It's an all-wheel drive vehicle, so it's got a longer range as well.
But what about performance? Performance is a super fast one.
Yeah, it's a good. The dual motor gives it the better performance, so you get more torque out of it. I don't know. Do they still have the larger battery? They don't have the larger battery anymore, do they?
I want to know these specs because it's something ridiculous. So the Model 3 performance has a 0 to 60 time of 3.1 seconds. Perfect for you, Ray. That sounds like what you need. Top speed of 162 miles per hour, and range is still really damn good at 315 miles in the performance Model 3.
And can I say, at my age, wherever you're trying to get to, you want to get there fast before you possibly pass away. so the fact that I can do it in 3.1 seconds would almost mean a lot.
And then, Ray, you can get autonomous driving that way. If you do pass away on your way there, everyone is still safe, and it'll just finish the drive for you.
Yes, take me straight to the cemetery. I like that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
If you have $11,000 extra to burn, what you get with the Model 3 performance is just phenomenal. I mean, consider that the rear wheel drive, it's a great value at $42,000. You're getting 272 miles of EPA rated range, 5.8 0 to 60 if you're into that. But if you spend the extra $11,000, Ray, you can get 315 miles of range and 3.1 second 0 to 60. I wish the regular long-range Model 3 was back, but I'm guessing that it's not available to the public right now because Tesla's trying to fulfill the massive orders from Hertz and others who have ordered literally tens of thousands of Model 3s. Justice, do you have any other intel on why we don't see the long-range all-wheel drive Model 3 right now?
Just a guess, but from everything I follow and read, I am guessing that the refresh is going to happen on the long-range Model 3. So they're doing an external refresh on the 3 and Y. So I think that's where you're going to see the long range come back in.
Interesting.
So it'll be a hype. It'll be like, hey, look, it's not only is it back, but it's different.
Does these price drops that they announced last night, once again, that will have a negative impact on the value of the pre-owned ones, which had just started to stabilize at the auctions recently?
I mean, yes, almost certainly so. We've seen that Tesla's used prices are falling much quicker than the market average, and this is only going to contribute to that for sure. I know that here in small town West Virginia, there is a 2019 mid-range. It's either 2018 or 2019 mid-range Model Y and Model 3 for sale. And it's been sitting there for at least 3 weeks. Back in the day, that didn't happen. They sold quickly. So interesting. Sign of the time here in small town America.
If I was going to go get a Model 3, a used Model 3, it'd be this weekend. Yeah. Everyone's going to be panicking. Oh my God, Tesla just dropped the prices again. We know what just happened last time. When it happened last time is when I went out and struck, because I knew everyone was sort of panicking over it. So this weekend would be where I would kind of go out and look and see what dealers are sort of panicking and what kind of amazing deal you can get on it.
And what I want to know is, how low can Tesla go? Like, how much further could Tesla drop prices in 2023? I feel like we've got to be hitting the floor here. I wouldn't be surprised if prices stay here for months on end, or they do the whole back and forth that Tesla is known for, where they bump them up by $500 or $1,000 and then drop them back down, back and forth. That's what's happened here, because the Model Y actually saw a $2,000 increase in the past few months, and now it's back down to where it was 3 months ago. So,
but we had all the news on the public is calling the Model 2. Tesla is not calling it that, but come out with Mexico factory and everything. So I don't think they'll probably play with a 3 and Y too much more this year as they're ramping up for that sub $25,000 out of Mexico.
Justin, can I ask you a question?
yes, sir.
Okay, so the tax credit, is that a credit against taxes already paid, or is it a tax refund?
So it is non-refundable for the end of this through the end of this year, and then it's going to be able to be a point of sale rebate or deduction. They're giving all of the automotive industry until January 1st, 2024 to set up whatever infrastructure they need to be able to transfer money like that. But right now, you've got to have that tax liability to claim the full amount.
Okay, so it's based on how much your taxes are,
Yep.
how much taxes you owe.
Yep,
Yep.
I should have just said that. That's the short answer. Yep.
Okay. No. Well, no. I don't know what the long answer or the short answer is. I just
It's
know
coming.
that. Yeah, I just know that when people see 3750 or they see 7500, that doesn't mean you qualify for all of it. If your tax liability, if you're looking at a Model 3 that has a $7,500 credit, but your tax liability for the year is only $2,500, you're only getting 25 of that 7,500.
That's the sad truth of how it is and how it has been for a decade. But at least that is changing in 9 months
Next year.
time.
Okay. I was just curious because, everybody always likes to say, well, once you've applied the credit, like the net cost is only X. Well, no, because not
Yeah.
everybody qualifies for the full credit.
Mhm.
So it depends on every individual's personal tax liability as to how much of that credit you're going to qualify for.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Ray. Like Tesla does this thing where they'll lump in the credit plus your maintenance and gas savings. I
Yes.
hate that. Like,
They-
don't
they
just give me
stopped
the real price.
Default though, didn't they?
Yeah,
That's-
it's not the default anymore, but you can click on it still.
well, it was
And
ridiculous.
just like,
It was the default.
yeah, I was just like, I'm with you, Ray. Like, just give me what the real price is. And it's kind of like, I know you know this, Ray, when you take in your vehicle as a trade to a dealer and they say, we'll give you $1,000, but with your tax savings,
Yes.
it's 1,400. So we're giving you 1,400 for your trade. I'm like, no, you're not. You're giving me $1,000. Like, stop with I'm paying the taxes. You're not doing me any benefit. So same with Tesla. Like, those are my taxes that I have to pay. You're not doing me any favors here. So don't list that as part of your thing on your website. I like the way they do it now, Justin. Yeah, with hey, this qualifies for this much of a tax credit, depending on your situation, if you get delivery before, and now it's saying April 18th. That is fine, but not including it in the price. I'm with you, Ray. Like, I don't like to see well, actually your price is, no, don't do that.
Now, I've got to walk back a statement I made probably 4 months ago. I said, don't expect the Model 3 to be eligible for the $25,000 cap used EV tax credit in 2023. But with what has happened quite quickly in the past few months, I think we're starting to see, if you look hard enough on CarEdge Car Search, you're starting to see maybe a few used Model 3s that are for about 25 grand. Justice, what was the deal that you got? Pretty close to 25 grand.
I was under 25. Yeah.
Wow. See,
plus I had California incentives and I have Sacramento incentives, and so my real cost is gonna end up being well under 20.
I'm jealous.
Wow.
Yes, I'm jealous. We would sell our Subaru Forester in a heartbeat if we could do that around here. But yeah, so in 2023, the Model 3 is eligible if you can find the right price for the used EV tax credit, which is that's almost breaking news worthy. I mean, that's awesome for a lot of people who are on a budget. It's a great car.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But Justice,
Yeah.
what is our headline all about? I'm sorry.
What is our headline about?
It's about attracting eyes.
Yeah, it's
Okay?
about getting
It has nothing
eyeballs
do
to the
with
show
show.
and absolutely nothing else.
Hey,
I
I have the right
no
path,
clue.
okay?
It was the most clickbait thing I could think of, Justin.
It
That's
worked.
what it was.
It got my attention. Yep.
Yeah, he
I
went to
believe
the he went to
we
the
even
Zach,
said you could.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say you went to the Zach Shefska School of Clickbait Headlines.
That's right. I'm trying to out Zach.
Yes.
This was my attempt.
Well, I've got some other news to share if I
Yeah.
may.
Please, you're the one who keeps us honest and real. I'm the one that puts us out into the stratosphere.
Yeah, I would have made the title "Teslas Are Cheap" and nobody would have clicked on it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the latest update on the EV tax credit because this is pretty interesting. Now, you two may recall that South Korea and German automakers and several others, the international automotive community was pretty pissed at the version of the EV tax credit revisions that ended up getting passed into law. Well, now the Treasury and, but this one's the Treasury, but the IRS and the Treasury have teamed up to issue the latest guidance. We're getting pretty close to the final guidance. This is technically a proposal, but it's a proposal for the final guidance. And it turns out they've permitted a bit more leeway than the bill's creators intended. So you've got Senator Joe Manchin from my state of West Virginia threatening lawsuits, but that's a whole nother topic because the latest U.S. Treasury guidance says there's room for new partnerships with countries like South Korea and a whole bunch of others. I'll pull up those countries here in a second, so that in the future, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Genesis GV60, and others that are built in countries like South Korea, or at least have battery packs that are built in those countries, could be eligible for some of this tax credit. Whereas previously, the language of the new EV tax credit was pretty clear that it's got to be free trade agreement countries, and that included countries like Australia, Chile, and Mexico, Canada, but not a whole lot of others. So this is good news if you're thinking about buying an Ioniq 5 maybe later this year or in 2024. But there's not a lot of good news when it comes to the timelines because they've stayed the same. So I went ahead and pulled this up on CarEdge.com/guides, and you can see the battery mineral requirements that will be in effect in the future. So it's still pretty stringent, pretty strict, but they've given some wiggle room for countries to create new agreements with the United States that would allow their cars to be eligible. Pretty interesting how that snuck up on us, huh?
I mean, we kind of knew there would be some changes coming along.
Yeah. And now the lawsuits are going to be coming, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, I have a question
now
for you. How do you change the law without actually changing the law?
You make a proposal. That's what's going on. This is literally what this is. This is a NPRM, which we will scroll up. NPRM stands for Notice of Proposed Rulemaking. That's how, Ray.
Yeah, well, you do it through reconciliation. I think we've just seen how that all works. You don't actually have to make a law. You just reconcile it with another already passed one.
This is fascinating stuff to me, because what's the point of debating these laws in the first place if you can just literally redo them after you've written them? It seems I'm going to use a term that perhaps I shouldn't, but because politicians are involved, it seems to me it's just a bit disingenuous.
What, disingenuous politicians, Ray? I have never heard of such a thing.
So the critical sentence here I actually didn't highlight. I did a poor job of that. Is that their proposed rulemaking at the Department of Treasury says there could be newly negotiated critical mineral agreements that would then be included in the EV tax credits. And they've shouted out to make them happy. They've shouted out some countries that have voiced concerns, and on that list you'll see Japan, Korea. I mean, these are countries that produce a whole lot of cars that American drivers are buying, especially electric cars.
Wouldn't that just be North Korea?
What?
I mean, South Korea.
I was like, I don't think North Korea, right?
Yeah. But when you say Korea, I mean, really, it would just be South Korea, wouldn't it?
Maybe that's how they diplomatically deny the legitimacy of the North Korean regime. I don't know. Do they just call it Korea because Korea was decided pre-1950 something?
People in South Korea, and my best friend's from South Korea, and her family's still there. They call it Korea.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
They do not say South. They just call it Korea.
Yeah, we'll have a CarEdge Electric Geopolitics edition someday.
I think Ray and I started that the other day, and we're definitely
pretty sure we did. Yeah.
We're willing to talk about anything here.
Yeah,
we just leave it just to the news for you, Justin, because we don't want you to have to get into the fray and get dirty like the rest of us.
I'll just sit back and watch. But some positive news, shall we? Justice, Ray, pop quiz. Let's give this one to Ray because Justice, you already know the answer. I drive an Ioniq 5, right?
I've heard that.
If I need to go on a road trip and stop at some public fast chargers, where am I most likely to stop for those charging stops in 2023?
Where are you most likely to stop?
Yeah, where do I got to stop for these charging sessions? Like, is it a roadside rest area? Is it going to be a Sheetz gas station here on the East Coast? Where am I most likely to
7-Eleven, damn it, 7-Eleven, because you want to overpay.
Justice, what's the correct answer?
Is that Electrify America?
Which is most commonly located at?
Walmart.
I don't
know. At Walmart, yeah.
Because you own a Tesla. That's why you don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know where they were located.
So the vast majority of Electrify America locations are at Walmarts around the country. You've got some at like Target. Those are the good ones, the ones at Target. And you've got some at gas stations like Sheetz, especially in my region. But Walmart, that's basically what you expect to get with Electrify America. And it turns out Walmart is launching its own electric vehicle charging network. They are going to partner with someone. They've said that. I'm betting it's going to be Electrify America. But, quote, thousands of Walmart locations will get EV chargers. That's great news for the adoption of electric vehicles. It's so-so news if you don't really like having to go into Walmart to use the restroom whenever you're charging your EV. But hey, I'll take it. And we don't really have many details on this. It's going to happen. Walmart's establishing an EV charging network. Pretty cool.
Well, and on those lines, Justin, let me ask you, because I did not share the story with you. So see if you know. One charging network installed 59% of all chargers last year, dwarfing everybody else combined. Who was that?
Tesla.
Yeah, it was Tesla.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
literally more than everybody else combined.
I believe it, and I want to give Tesla my money for charging. Please open up the supercharger network in my region. Right now, it's in very select areas of New York and California. Elon, take my money. I want a reliable charging network because Electrify America has improved. Early 2022, it was hell. I mean, 1 out of 3 charging sessions for me in different states ended up in failure. By the end of 2022, they had greatly improved, but still, I would much rather use the supercharger network. I agree with Kimberly's comment, though. I mean, charging in the pouring rain, you're most likely going to be without some kind of cover like you would get at a gas station. It can be pretty miserable. So
I had that experience the other day, last Sunday. I went on a drive because I just like to drive sometimes. And I went to a Tesla supercharger. It was raining. And there was almost no lighting in that parking lot. Even I was like, okay, I'm uncomfortable here. Like, I don't know. And that's unusual for Tesla in my experience, but I'm usually around the city. But definitely a bigger concern. And I know non-Tesla stations have this problem even more.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I've been to some pretty shady non-Tesla charging locations, not just Electrify America. Some of them can just be pretty rough. But I think that's getting better little by little.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the NEVI funding, the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, or I don't know. There's a bunch of government acronyms involved. Federally funded chargers coming to roadside rest areas. I look forward to that because, at least in the states I've traversed in the central and southeastern U.S., rest areas tend to be pretty clean and well maintained. So I think that would be a better option than Walmart. But
That's interesting. That's a completely opposite point of view that I have of rest stops.
interesting.
So,
Well, yeah, I've only
yeah,
frequented them in like a third of the country, and I've had good experiences. So I would welcome that. Sounds like you haven't, Justice.
yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a whole opening scene in the 2016 Halloween about rest stops that I found a lot more appropriate and accurate. But
I will take note.
so, but I haven't driven out in your area, so I don't know. Maybe that's I will say California rest stops not always the best places to be.
Huh. Well, they got plenty of taxes over there. Why can't they fix them?
Yeah.
We can get into a whole show about where California taxes go.
We'll move on. So yeah, I've got about 5, 6, 7 more minutes left. I can be on this awesome show today, and I'm gonna end the show with some surprising news that really caught me off guard this morning, and it's more Tesla news. And Ray, maybe we'll see what you think about this new option. So I'm gonna share my screen and ask you, Justice, what's different about this page? It is Tesla's Model Y configurator. There's something new on this page that should make everyone excited.
A Y performance. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what year. Well, yeah, we talked about the lower price.
Did we? I don't think we talked about the new variant.
So that's the base. Does that?
Oh, you're right.
Freight?
You're right.
The standard range all-wheel drive Model Y is now on sale on the menu. Yeah, we didn't talk about that yet. So the long range 330-mile EPA rated all-wheel drive Model Y did get $1,000 cheaper, $52,990. But now the standard range all-wheel drive made in Austin, Texas, with 4680 cells is now on sale for $49,990. You get 279 miles of range. So that's a pretty big range hit. That's 50 miles of less range. It's only, in quotation marks, about $3,000 cheaper. But hey, that might make a difference for some. And it's got the latest battery cells that Tesla has engineered in partnership with Panasonic. So that's some pretty good news, in my opinion.
So for a guy like me who drives less than 300 miles a month, that would be more than an ample amount of range to have.
Oh yeah, because even though that's EPA, which you'll never get out of it, you're still going to have a good 240 on that, 250.
Well, my longest drive is when I drive back to the Bethesda area, and it's about 185, 190 miles from door to door.
So, Ray, I think we need to find a way to get you into a Model Y or Model 3 test drive because, I mean, you don't even have to talk to anyone if they've still got the remote option for test driving a Tesla. We need to get you into one because that's going to spice up this show in a whole nother way. So let's do that in 2023.
Yeah, let's get you into one. So if you're going to complain about them, you have good hard data to. No, I'm not saying that you do. I mean, I know
you never heard me complain about them most of the time.
Most of the time, but at least you can get in there. And here's why I don't like it. And I think, Ray,
yes,
as much as I love my Tesla, you will not like it.
Really?
I do, because everything is on the screen.
I agree.
There's no gauge cluster. There are no tactile buttons. I mean, on the steering wheel, but you would hate it because the tactile buttons on the steering wheel change based on what's on the screen.
Excuse me?
Yeah. So
you'd like my car a whole lot more. You'd like the Ioniq 5.
Yeah, I think you would too. But that's why I want to get you into a Model 3. I think it would be great fun to see you in there.
We need to start there.
I will be next month on May 21st will be the 1-year anniversary that I got into my current vehicle. which is a 3-year lease. So typically it does you no good to get rid of a vehicle 1 year into a 3-year lease, because as I used to like to counsel customers, leases are designed to go full term. They're not designed for you to go, well, you know what? I don't know. I've had it 12 months. That's enough. No, it doesn't quite work like that. But assuming for a minute that my Mini has phenomenal resale value above and beyond what I still owe on it for the lease, maybe. Nah, I still don't know where the hell I'm going to charge it.
Well, with what you drive,
You won't be charging often.
You won't be charging it very often. So just when you do go out to the grocery store or somewhere nearby, I bet there is a charging station nearby where you can plug in, go do some of your errands.
Let me help you with this. On the island on which I live, okay, and that island includes Atlantic City, Ventnor City, Margate City, and Longport. Okay. Atlantic City, the biggest of those 3 cities or 4 cities, doesn't even have a grocery store. Okay. Doesn't have a supermarket. Not one. Okay. There is a grocery store in Ventnor about a mile from my house. They don't have any electric charging there. There's a grocery store in Margate about a mile from my house. They don't have any electric charging there. And there are no grocery stores in Longport. I don't know where chargers are in this area. And yeah, like you say, I wouldn't have to charge it very often, but obviously when I drive to and from the DC area, once I get to DC, I would have to charge it again so that I could get back home. And then once I get back home, I would need to eventually charge it. I just don't know where. And that's the thing that keeps me from seriously considering it.
Well, I'll tell you what, before I come back 1 week from today, I am going to have researched this for you, Ray, and we're going to see just how possible would it be for you to charge an EV in your area, because I'm betting it's going to be a lot easier than you think, but I could be proven wrong. I'll come back with the latest info from PlugShare, the app that EV users rely on if you don't drive.
Yeah, I mean, because maybe, just maybe, with Tesla dropping their prices, what'd you find for me? I got to go to Baltimore. I don't want to go to Baltimore.
No. See all the T's on there?
Yeah.
Those are all Tesla chargers, and over here is Ventnor.
Oh, okay.
In Atlantic City.
Yeah. So how many are in the Atlantic City area?
I mean, none. Yeah, I'll have to look at. I just did
none.
Did my trip.
None. Okay, zero, nada, none. But that doesn't mean that if there isn't one relatively close that I wouldn't consider it. I probably would, because I'm a car guy and people depend on me for information and my opinion about different cars. So I might have to become an EV enthusiast.
Well, at least an experienced driver. I don't know. I don't know if you become an enthusiast, but
yes,
maybe.
I don't know. I will see. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, Justin, I know you have to go.
I do. My closing words for today are: if you want to buy a used or new Tesla, this is probably a good weekend to do it.
I agree completely.
Well, I'll have to see what I'm doing this weekend.
All right, gentlemen. Well, unless you've got any closing words, I'm going to be hopping on out of here. It's been a great show.
Thank you, Justin, for being here. And I just want to say, because of the news that you shared today, that it has opened up the possibility that maybe, perhaps, I might consider a move to a Tesla, because damn it, they're relatively inexpensive in comparison to other vehicles out there today.
Just another $2,000 for you, Ray, right? If they get to $39,990.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure I would qualify for the 3750 tax credit.
Yeah.
Because I know the check that's going to the IRS next week.
but then
I know
it would
the
only
size
be
of that damn check.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Consider. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you, Ray. And everyone have a great day. We'll see you back here on Tuesday with something. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, it'll be clickbaity.
Yeah, oh yeah. Do not rely on the headline to know what we're going to talk about at all in any way. But it'll be there. So we'll see everyone Tuesday.
Terrific. Thank you, everybody.